And of course, anytime we hear new jobs, it is good news for all of us, and someone excited to hear about that is Senator Roger Wicker. He's joining us now live in our studio. Senator, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Andrea. Good to be here.
And while you're not directly connected with this Keyor project, certainly it's good news for you to hear of this new industry coming to our area.
Well, absolutely. At a time of economic uncertainty, when unemployment is 9.5% nationally, this is very good news, and so I want to congratulate the state leadership. This is something totally different. It's going to take wood and agricultural waste and actually turn it into crude oil. This is not ethanol, it's not biodiesel, it's something totally different and new.
Well, we've been talking for a long time now about reducing our dependence on foreign oil, so this is a good step in the right direction. Is there a lot of congressional support for these type activities?
Well, there's congressional support for the concept, but this is done totally as a matter of private industry, and so we congratulate the state government for joining together. I'm sure the legislature will pass this special session issue quickly tomorrow and bring this huge investment of $500 million to our economy.
Well, the economy, jobs, it's on everyone's mind, and that's what you've been talking to constituents as you've been touring across the state in the past few weeks. What are you hearing from folks out there?
Well, there's a lot of concern. You know, the Congress spent $800 billion in an economic stimulus bill. It doesn't seem to have worked. The unemployment rate has gone from 7.6% to 9.5%, and we just heard some really disappointing housing news this week, the worst housing resale numbers since 1995. Retail, we had some bad news. The stock market is way down. And so I think we need to give the certainty to our business creators, our small business people, that we're not going to let this automatic tax increase go into effect first of the year. I think that's the first thing we should do when Congress returns back to Washington in mid-September.
Is that the silver lining out of all of this? I mean, we hear so much bad news. People need to hear a little bit of something to give them some hope.
Well, they need to hear some good news from Congress. They're not going to raise their taxes. And also, we need to impose a bipartisan spending freeze. There's a McCaskill-Sessions proposal, a Democrat from Missouri, a Republican from Alabama. It says let's freeze domestic spending for 3 straight years and enforce that with a 2/3 majority to get around that. I think this is the sort of leadership the American people are looking for from Washington at a time when we've spent way too much money and at a time when we don't need to be letting tax increases go into effect.
All right, Senator Roger Wicker is no doubt, no matter which side of the aisle you consider yourself on, jobs and the economy important to all of us. We appreciate your time here this afternoon. Thank you so much.
Good to be with you.
And now we're going to turn our attention to weather.